Let's play an example game of left-right mini dungeon. Put the rule books away for later.
Shuffle the influence card deck, dungeon deck, and artifact deck.
And lay out our 4 characters. Got a rabbit, goblin, mouse, construct. So the way the game works is you want to be able to keep your characters alive as long as possible, all the way till wherever ending you get. And you're going to travel through a dungeon. You're going to choose left or right. So by doing that, you're going to draw 2 cards. We got the junk room and the incubator room in this case. So are we going to go left or are we going to go right? So we get to read this card, which has some flavor text. The junk room. This room smells incredibly bad. Maybe there is something of use here. After entering, the trash moves and attacks the artifacts that you carry. Well, my characters don't have any artifacts. This sounds like a good possible monster to fight. The incubator room. Mad scientist. Looks like that will wound some characters. So, I'm going to choose to go to the junk room and place the incubator room on the bottom of the dungeon card stack. So what we do now is we draw up 4 influence cards. Let's read up what this monster does. Trash monster. One of a kind. Attack all 1 artifact. This monster does not wound. Discard 1 artifact card for each character that doesn't succeed. Don't draw an artifact card if a character succeeds. So, I don't have any artifacts. So I'm going to let it wreck my artifacts. I did get a pair of mouse cards. I could use the mouse cards to prevent this from destroying an artifact.
But I'm going to
Use these mouse cards to prepare the mouse for our next encounter or a future encounter. These other 2 cards, I can't pair them up, so I can't prepare any of my other characters. So I'm going to put them in a discard pile next to the influence card deck. This junk room card now goes to a discard pile next to the dungeon card deck. And since no one succeeded, or if someone could succeed, but since this card has don't draw an artifact card if a character succeeds, we're not going to draw an artifact card. Instead, we're going to go on to our next dungeon room, Mouse House and Tight Passage. Well, the Mouse House, I know, is part of home. And part of home means that it's an automatic success. So I'm just going to put this Tight Passage at the bottom of the dungeon card deck, meaning I might encounter it later. And I'm going to go through this Mouse House card. So if the mouse is alive, which it is, you may discard the magic strength cheese and draw a different artifact card. But we don't have any artifact cards. We can't accomplish that goal. But because it's part of home, we know we're going to end up drawing an artifact anyway. Every turn, we end up drawing our 4 influence cards. So we'll do that. We've got a bad one. It cancels one of these other ones, but it doesn't matter. We don't have a pair. And at this point, we would be trying to prepare another character, but we did not succeed in doing so. So we're going to discard those, set this aside, remove the mouse house, or discard the mouse house, and collect our artifact. There's our mouse. There's our magic strength cheese. Put that with the mouse, or hold on to it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Since you can only have a number of artifacts equal the number of characters, I like to put it with artifacts with the characters. Let's move on to the next dungeon room, Treasure Room, or the Goblin Warrens. The Treasure Room. After entering the room, all the treasure forms into one large mound of sticky green slime. That doesn't sound so good. But the Goblin Warrens, well, this is a part of home, so we're going to go there. We're going to draw our 4 influence cards. 2 bad cards cancel out the 2 good ones, so it doesn't even matter if we had a pair. And we're going to draw our artifact. Twisted Glowing Stone does nothing from what you can tell. You know what? I'm going to give that to... Let's just give that to the rabbit. And let's move on. Long Passage, Rat's Nest. They sound dangerous. So I'm going to go with this Long Passage. It sounds less dangerous. So we've got the Challenge Box, the Crash After the Fall, one of a kind. So I only need one of a kind for each. Attack All, 1 wound, but everybody's going to take a wound. Any of the characters are going to take a wound if I don't get a one of a kind for them. So I got a Goblin, a Construct, and a Rabbit. So each of those succeed, but that's only 3. So we're going to draw up our 4th. Okay. Shuffled that up. Draw the 4th. It is a bad card. So that means it's going to have to pair with another one of these cards. However, something we have is the Magic Strength Cheese. Only usable if the mouse is alive. Mouse is alive. Draw 1 influence card per dungeon card phase. So right now is the dungeon card phase, and we could draw another influence card. I'm going to do so. It happens to be another bad card. So I'm going to pair this up with 2 of the cards. You know what? I think I'm just going to take these top 2 with these 2, meaning the Goblin is the one that doesn't take a wound from the fall, and the mouse could flip over and add 2 of a kind. However, I only need 1, so it's going to use the 1 of a kind to prevent this wound. So since the Rabbit and the Construct did not succeed against the Crash After the Fall, they're going to take a wound. So let's wound the Construct. The Rabbit is wounded. And we're going to discard these cards. The Long Passage gets discarded. Someone succeeded against it, so we're going to take an artifact. This is the partial map. Let's give it to the Goblin. Doesn't mean that the Goblin actually has it, just that you have it. I've watched where players have held on to the cards. So this is allowing us to draw 1 extra dungeon card when drawing from the dungeon card deck. It's a Secret Passage, so let's draw up our 3 cards. Glowing Room instead of 2 for our dungeon. We got left, right, Glowing Room, right, Water Room, or the Secret Passage, the Lost Halls. So now we have a choice. Glowing Room. Looks like that only does 1 wound to 2 characters. So I'm thinking maybe that one. Water Room. Attack all, 2 wounds. Only 1 2 of a kind required. And then it protects everybody. This one is Lost Traveler, 2 of a kind, 1 attack, 2 wounds, or discard the partial map. You know what? I like this partial map though, because it's giving us a 3rd card option. So I'm thinking, however, that would be an automatic win against the Lost Halls.
Let's place the Lost Halls and Water Room at the bottom of the dungeon deck.
And let's go after the Glowing Room. Feels like if those 2 characters were wounded, I'd still have all 4 characters. So let's draw our 4 cards. Oh, looks like the Rabbit's got 2 cards. We've got a Mouse and a Goblin. Now in this discard pile, we know there's already 2 bad cards removed. And we have this Magic Strength Cheese, so maybe we can protect everybody. We're going to drop 1 more card. Oh, it's the Goblin. So we're going to choose the Rabbit and the Goblin being attacked because 2 attacks. They both succeed. Going to discard those. No one is wounded. Draw my artifact because someone succeeded. Strange Jar. Set it with the Construct because that's the only character without an artifact yet. All 4 characters. So if we get another artifact, then we would have to discard down. So we still have our partial map. We're going left, right, Secret Passage. Workshop, part of home, is automatic success. We could get that artifact we're talking about. Room of Runes. Looks like this has got an ending. Arch Room. This one has an ending. If you have the Twisted Glowing Stone, we do. Should we go get that ending? Should we end the game? Let's do that. Let's try. We're going to put these two at the bottom. The walls in this room are covered in many bronze plates. Protruding out of the back wall is a blue metal arch. A semi-transparent, twisted object is glowing in front of it. Looks like that glowing stone. If you have the twisted glowing stone, when you draw influence cards, you may activate the portal with 3 of a kind. Go to ending 4, or discard this card and don't draw an artifact. Well, we've got some cards to draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can draw a 5th. Is anyone prepared? No. Well, looks like we do not succeed. So, there's no 3 of kind. We're going to end up discarding this card. Discarding these. Move on to our next dungeon card. Clean Passage, Rabbit Statue, Incubator Room. Looks like Clean Passage. We're going to kill the cleaning crew, maybe. Or fight the cleaning crew. This is a part of home. That's an automatic success. Here we got a mad scientist. If the character succeeds, and you have the strange jar,
Go to ending 4.
we've got the strange jar. Let's try it. Let's try to end the game again. Put these two at the bottom in any order. Shuffle our influence deck. Mad scientist. 2 of a kind, 2 attacks, 2 wounds. So somebody is going... Well, we'll see how well we succeed. 1, 2, 3, 4 influence cards. 2 mice, 2 mouse cards. So somebody succeeds. We're getting an end. The construct and the bad card cancel each other out. We could draw a 5th card, but I don't want to, because it might end up being another bad card, and that would cancel out the mouse card. However, yeah, that's it. There is no however. So, 2 wounds. If a character is wounded once, they get a wounded card. A second wound, dead. We'll say the construct put up a fight, right? Because it has the construct card. Or maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's it. Construct couldn't put up a fight because of the bad. We'll say that. We'll create our own story here. Although it has the strange jar, but somebody else picks up the strange jar. Construct is now dead. The mouse succeeded, so it picked up the strange jar, dropped its magic strength cheese, chose not to draw another card. So we get to go to ending 4, the incubator room with the strange jar. Construct is dead. Rules and endings 1 through 3. Nope. Endings 4, because it's endings 4. Incubator room. Ending 4. Incubator room. A, the construct is alive. Whoa. So because the construct is not alive, we get a different ending. B, the construct is dead. The jars in this room are broken, and the eggs are spilling out. However, you're able to collect them in the strange jar. By the time you exit the room, the eggs have grown into tadpoles. In just a short time, they start to communicate telepathically. But you can't understand it all. Their frustration continues to grow. And just before anyone lashes out, bipedal frog-like creatures appear around you. That's not the entire story. I'll let you finish that one if you get there.
That was a sample game of Left Right Mini Dungeon.